this is an isosceles triangle, which means that these two angles are equal to each other, right? Well, if this angle here is 90, then that would be, we have 180 degrees total, minus 90, leaves us 90 degrees that we have to divide by 2 to find out what each of those are. So it's a 45 and a 45, 90 divided by 2. 45 plus 90 equals 180. So we have our triangle. So anytime you have a right isosceles triangle, that's a 45, 45, 90. Everybody understand that? And it's the name of the triangle. So they can give you a picture with the two sides equal, then you know, and a right angle, and that you know it's a 45, 45, 90. Or they can give you a triangle with a 45 degree angle and a 90 degree angle, and you would know that the other angle has to be 45 because it has to add up to 180, okay? Yeah. They don't have to give you all the information. So let's say they tell you that that side is 7, and they want you to find the other sides, okay? Well, can somebody tell me what x is? X is 7 because these two sides are equal. Got it? And now I have two sides of a triangle, and I need to find the third side. What rule do I use to solve that? Good. So we use a squared plus b squared equals c squared, which is 7 squared plus 7 squared equals y squared, because y is the hypotenuse. So this is 49 plus 49 equals y squared, which is the square root of 98 equals y squared. I mean, the square root of 98 equals y, sorry. Because we have to square root it to get what y is, right? Well, now I'm going to take 98 and factor it. It's 2 and 49, and it's 7 and 7. Can I pull anything out of the radical?
You can pull the 7 out.
Yep. So the y would be 7, and the 2 did not come out of the radicals, so it's 7 root 2. In a right 45, 45, 90 triangle, the ratio of the sides are 1, 1, and root 2. Okay? And think about that. If I take the ratios, here's a 45, 45, 90, and what I tell kids to do is I say write down 45, 45, 90, and you're not using those numbers, that's just the title, so don't use those numbers for anything. You put the ratio underneath it. What number is across from the 45? 1. What number is across from the 90? Root 2. You see that? Mm-hmm. And then you make it a proportion. We can solve that triangle we just did. Now I have 1 of 7, right? So in the proportion, you're going to use the 1, 1, root 2. Then downstairs, you're going to put 1, x, y. Because the y is opposite the 90. And 7, x and y. Because the 7 is opposite the 45.
How do we get 7?
Because I'm just giving you the problem we just did. Uh-huh. Now, do you see a full fraction of those three fractions? 1/7. Let's find the x first. 1/7 equals 1 over x. When I cross multiply, x equals 7. That's what we got in the other answer, right? Mm-hmm. And 1/7 equals root 2 over y. Y equals 7 root 2. And that's what we got in the answer.
How do you find the root again? You just always put it root 2?
You gunk a root 2 on the side, on whatever the side is.
But it'll always be like root 2?
When you've got a root 3 in there, I would use the proportion, because then you don't have to think much, and you can just let the math take you there, okay? So we know that a 45, 45, 90, and you're always going to write this on top as the title, is 1, 1, root 2. Does everybody understand that? You're always going to write that on every problem that's hard, that you need to do this too. So across from the first 45 is an x, across from the second 45 is a y, and then the other one is a root 3. Okay? And this, you have a full fraction, but it's an ugly full fraction. It's this one right here. You got it? So we're going to do root 2 over root 3 equals 1 over x. The good news is, what do we know about x and y? All right, so we have root 2 times x equals root 3. Who does not understand what I did? I just cross multiplied. How do I leave the x alone? I have to divide by root 2. Okay? Jonah, good? You divide by root 2. So x equals root 3 over root 2. But what's wrong with that problem? You can't have what in the basement? A radical. So we're going to multiply that by root 2 over root 2. And we get root 6 over 2 is your answer. So this triangle, y is root 6 over 2, and x is root 6. Both y and x are root 6 over 2. All right, there are two sides that are equal in this triangle. What are they?
45, 45?
Well, the b and the 5 root 3 over 6, right?
Yeah.
Those are the two angles. But yeah, the two sides would be this and this. So we already know b is 5 root 3 over 6. Don't waste your time trying to figure that out, because we know what it is, okay? Does everybody understand that? And we know that if we want to gunk on, if we want to find the hypotenuse, we just multiply it by root 2, because the ratio is 1, 1, root 2. So all we have to do to this guy here, 5 root 3 over 6, is gunk a root 2 on it. That's not a 2. Okay? But let's say we didn't understand that. Okay, so that's going to be 5 root 6 over 6. That is what A is going to be. And let's say you don't understand that. Use the proportion. Remember I told you put 45, 45, 90. Put a square around that because you're not going to use those numbers. And you already know that A is 5 root 3 over 6. And we need, B is 5 root 3 over 6, so we need to find B. What do I do here to cross multiply? 1 times b is b equals 5 root 3 over 6 times root 2, which is 5 root 6 over 6. So since the 7 root 2 over 2 is on the left side, and we know that these two sides are equal, then n is 7 root 2 over 2. So we're going to write our ratio down, 45, 45, 90. What's the ratio? 1, 1, root 2. Every 45, 45, 90 triangle in the universe has a ratio of 1, 1, root 2. Okay?
And then you would do root 2 with 7 root 2 and just multiply it?
Yep.
By
And,
the root 2?
and this is going to be, what?
7 root 4?
What letter is that? M? This is going to be M.
M to 7 root 4.
And what is the square root of 4? 2. So it's 7 times 2 is 14 over 2. And what is 14 over 2?
That's 7 over 1. Or just 7, yeah.
So M equals 7.